Angel Man here today to give you guys another video. Welcome back, to another episode of the podcast.
Don't even know which one.
It's been a minute, That's actually what I'm going to talk to you actually about right now.
Yeah.
But besides me, I'm here with a good friend of mine, Eric. Eric, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it, man. I know you came
pretty far away.
From quite a distance. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, from quite a distance, man. I really appreciate you coming over here, man.
Problem.
I'm always trying to get new people on here, and it's just great to just have a discussion.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying, about a bunch of stuff, and I know you have a lot of stuff you want to talk about. I know I do too. It's just great to be able to do another video.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How was the drive here?
Well, there was some traffic, so that's always fun. Sitting in traffic, you know.
It's that fun. You know what's funny? Usually, whenever I do an episode of the podcast, right, I always do it in the morning, at least like at 12. You're the first one to offer to do it in the afternoon. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But just to give a little background for how I know you, right? Basically, he's my coworker, right? And also my best buddy. Like, we met. I met you on your second day of work.
Yeah, second day of work. Been talking ever since.
Yeah, in September, right?
Yeah. I think the last week of September. Yeah. I started work on a Sunday, and then you came on a Monday, and I was like, oh, what's up? You're like, hey, dude. And I'm like, all right.
I'm like, what's up, man?
You're like, dude, there'd be some awkward people at work. I don't know if you experienced that.
Dude,
man.
I know. Just like, I don't want to call names. But...
Oh man, like that one guy from work who, or the chick, remember Tao? Oh man, that one dude who yelled at her, dude. So I went to go introduce myself, right, to him. I think I told you this, and he wanted nothing. I was like, hey, what's going on, man? What's your name? And he was like, I'm like, bro, it's simple. Yeah. Like, just say your name. I'll talk to you. Whatever, you know? He was just, I don't know, he's a weird guy.
So, before we even get into that, actually, that's a good thing to kind of get into that. So, we both work at Amazon, right? That's how we met. Amazon, We're still working right now, and we're part-time. Now, they're offering us full-time because peak season's almost over.
Yes. Peak season, I think my manager, same as yours, told me that we should know in the next few weeks. Yeah. If they want us to be full-time
I bet you the first week of January.
Yeah, I think so too.
First or second. I give it that one. Because
the other manager was telling me that they have like a month left of the shift, and she's like, I can't wait for it to be done. Because our shift is 10:50 at night to 2:50 in the morning. Yeah. So working the graveyard shift, that's brutal.
The cool thing about Amazon though is that, at least for us, is that they always offer extra shifts. Yeah. And we're always taking that extra half hour.
Oh yeah. It adds up too, because they're like, on a Sunday, you'll get like 30 minutes, and then Mondays, 30 minutes, that's an hour. Yeah. So like by the end of your work week, you'll have another 2 hours or something, so it's nice.
For us, it's anywhere between 25 to 30 hours a week.
Yeah, I think my max was 27 I got, which was last week.
Yeah. I convinced you to come in today. Yeah.
That was funny.
I've done my first.
I was like, I don't know, do I want to come in, do I not? And you're like, bro, just go to work. I'm like, you're right.
I mean, you know, we can make some extra money, right? Like,
I mean, yeah.
And then full-time is $3.20. Well, now it's at 1, but...
Full-time is $3.20 to $11.50. Yeah. So, because of 30 minutes for lunch. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, man, that's brutal. But it's nice because you got the whole day. You got the whole day to do whatever you want.
That's true, but then at the same time, like, will you be able to?
Shoot, yeah, I know.
That's one of the issues.
Those 8 hours will probably drain you.
See, that's the thing about Amazon I wanted to talk to you about, right? So, to clarify, the reason why I haven't posted anything in a few months, and I've had family, I've had subscribers, people comment, like, when's the next video, whether it's a short or a podcast or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, even a vlog. I'm just too tired, man. I'm exhausted.
Dude,
because
I go home, sleep, and next thing you know, it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, even today. Because so last night, since you went to work and I didn't have work, I was talking to my girlfriend, right? And then I fell asleep at like, I don't know, 11, woke up at 1. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I'm wide awake right now. I'm literally wide awake, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do?
Dude, I only slept 3 hours today.
You told me you were going to stay up. Did you? Or
I did.
Slept 3 hours, huh?
Yeah, I went to Union City to do my Invisaligns, and then I came back and I knocked out. Oh, man. And then when I woke up, I was like, oh shit, Mom, what time is it? She's like, you still got 2 hours. I was like, okay. With Amazon though, like that's the rough thing about anyone that's interested in doing a warehouse job or whatever, is that especially our time that we go in, it really messes up your sleep schedule.
Oh, it messes up your circadian rhythm. I don't know. I've talked about that before, right?
Yeah.
So the circadian rhythm is basically biological clock.
Yeah.
So your body runs on your circadian rhythm. It's basically when you go to bed around, let's just say 9 or 10 o'clock at night and wake up at 6 to 8 in the morning. Usually you operate the best.
Right.
Usually. Now when you go against that and you work graveyard shifts like me and you feel like crap. You feel like crap.
Your body's just dead.
Your body's like, ugh.
It's like you're sometimes moving on fumes.
Oh yeah.
You know?
There have been times when I've gone like duck hunting or something like that. Like my dad, I think it was this next week, he wants to go duck hunting and fishing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would literally go to work, come home at, let's just say 4, go hunting, and then go fishing right after that and get home at like, I don't know, 5. Just be like, I'm like, nah, dude, I gotta try and get some sleep. Like there have been times when I barely got any sleep and like it screws you up. You're like, I don't even want to do anything right now.
Dude,
I sleep.
Like for instance, like Thanksgiving had just passed and I originally was gonna go on the weekend to go see my family because like I said, they're all the way on the other side, they're in Vacaville.
Yeah.
And
Vacaville's a cool city, man. I've been over there once or twice.
It's cool, but I just didn't feel like making the drive. That's how tired I was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's times where...
You get in your car, you get comfy, you're like...
You fall asleep, right? You're like, twice, that almost happened to me, twice. And then not even that, like, even when you come back from work, like, it depends on how exhausted you are, but sometimes you don't even sleep right away. Like, I won't sleep till, like, 9 in the morning sometimes.
Like, usually, we'll get off at, like, 3:30 if we stay.
Yeah.
Get off 3:30, because I take a 30-minute drive, and I'll get home at, like, 4, and I'm like, man, because my parents leave. My mom, she works, so, like, she'll get up around, like, 4:30.
Yeah.
And then she'll leave, because she's got to be at work around, I think, like, 6 or 7. It's brutal. And I'm like, oh, my mom's up, my dad already left. And I'm like, all right, I got to eat something. Because if you don't eat something, you wake up, you're like, oh, man, I'm starving and I'm tired. It's bad. So I try and eat something. So that keeps me up for another hour. And I'm already normally up. So I'm like, shoot. So probably like 5:36, I'll go to sleep. And I'm just like, oh, man, sleep till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It's brutal. I mean, you wake up, my phone's constantly blowing up from like 10 to 11, so I'll wake up around like 12. I'm like, shoot, dude, I'm still tired.
It's just more of like, if you can handle it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could adjust to it, but it's more of dealing with it afterwards. Like, I was talking to other people at Amazon. Yeah. Like, Tal, for instance, she told me that sometimes she can't sleep till 12.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, really?
You're like constantly tired, too. I mean, I have a buddy who works in construction, because he works all the way in, you know where Eureka is?
I do not.
Oh, that's basically, you've heard of Klamath?
No.
Oh, okay, that's way up there by like Reading.
Oh,
and like it's just super north. I mean, because it's a 6-hour drive from Vacaville, from where he lives. He just comes back and he's like, dude, I'm swamped. So he goes up there on a Sunday night, 6-hour drive, and then works at, let's just say he leaves at 6 in the morning, gets up at 12, sleeps till like 8, goes to work at 8, and then gets back to the hotel that he sleeps at. I think it's like 10 in the morning. So then he sleeps from 10 in the morning to like 8. So I mean, and then after that, when he gets off on like, let's just say a Friday night, goes back to Vacaville.
Yeah.
So that's another 6-hour drive. So he's like, this is brutal.
You're making me feel tired.
I know, right? I'm like, oh my gosh.
I need Pepsi to keep me up.
Yeah, man.
Other than the time schedule, you meet a lot of cool people there.
Yeah, definitely meet some cool people.
You know?
Meet some weird people too.
Yeah, that's Amazon's interesting.
They take felons, man. That's why.
Yeah.
You can basically have anything you want and you'll get in there. I'm pretty sure they take anybody.
I think so. I think so. I mean, because it's not a union job.
No, it's not a union.
Yeah, no.
Union is very difficult to get in, but once you get in, you're pretty much set.
For sure. Yeah.
Labor. Have you ever heard of a laborer? It's rough work. I've heard of that. My buddy was a laborer for 20 years, and he's like, I mean, it just kills you.
Jobs like that, I'm pretty sure anybody can do if you have nothing else going on.
Well, it's really not about the job and how physical it is. It's your mental. It's all about mental.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like for me, like Amazon, it's cool, but I got other things going on.
Oh, for sure.
You already know, right? Yeah. Like I'm trying to do acting right now. Oh yeah. It's kind of hard for me to do acting
when you're tired. You go to do an acting, and you're just like,
Like if I do an audition, hi, my name is Andrew.
Can we
do it again? I'm sorry. You know, like it's like that sometimes, you know, and I'm just like, I'm trying to get up from it.
It's like you almost need like caffeine almost every day.
How many times do I go to the snack bar?
Almost every day.
Because I need the sugar to keep me up, you know?
I mean, I'm constantly on I just got done drinking a yerba. You ever had one of those? They're like tea. You like tea?
No.
Oh, it's not bad. It's smooth, actually. It's almost like lemonade, kind of, but it's good. Some of those energy drinks, man, are rough.
Right.
Like, Monsters are rough. Monsters, like the original green one.
I don't drink Monster for
I've had it before. Yeah. I think the most I've had in a day was like 2. And I mean, well, the problem with energy drinks is the sugar and then the caffeine. So caffeine and sugar almost do the same thing, but in a different way. So sugar spikes your glucose. So in about 3 hours, you'll be in a sugar crash. So you get tired. And then caffeine is an amazing chemical, but that keeps you up. And there's science behind that. Adenosine, I think it's what it's called. That it gets rid of that, and that will definitely keep you up for sure.
Right.
So it also depends on how much you drink too, because if you drink 600 milligrams, you'll definitely be tired.
Yeah.
I think 3 Red Bulls I had in a day within like 3 hours. I was like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
You think, Eric?
No, it was actually 4. I was like, all right, that's enough. That's enough.
Regardless, I mean, you know, what's crazy about working at Amazon is that we had a lot of experiences, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, the work's pretty simple. It's just repetitive.
Yeah, it's repetitive, but especially when they got you doing the same thing every day.
Yeah, like David, you know, they have them doing the same thing all the time.
Oh, man. I feel bad for, like, Richard and David. They're always the corner pushing.
Yeah.
And I never push.
Maybe I've never done it either.
Yeah. Bad for them.
I'm always doing other stuff.
Oh, man.
I mean, recently unloading and you inducting, right?
Mine's always induct, though.
Always.
Always got me there.
Well, you know, their goal is to get as many packages out. For sure. You know, and usually with the full-time, the total is always like 100K.
My manager told me yesterday, or our manager was like, all right, so what's the volume for today? And she goes, whatever you can do. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, huh?
I was like, what do you mean, like 100? She's like, no, whatever you can do. I was like,
so if I did 10.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so what if we do like, I was tempted to tell you, I was like, Andrew, put 1 package, that's all I can do.
I'm going home.
That's it. That's all we can do, sorry.
You technically gave me permission.
Yeah, you gave me permission.
Just out of curiosity, now after talking about work and meeting you and even some people here and there, right? Because it's like I don't want to give names because there are plenty of good people there, and then some difficult people here and there.
For sure.
My question also is, you know, after talking to you for a minute, you know, I asked you to come onto the podcast.
Yeah. Definitely.
I just wanted to know from on camera, like, what did you think when I asked you wanted to be on the podcast?
I was like, you know, at first I was like, what is he talking about? I was like, okay. So I watched a couple of yours. I was like, oh, okay, that's awesome. I remember you telling me like some people have like problems coming on here and stuff like that. I was like, it's not a problem. Just talk, you know. You're just having a conversation with your buddy. Yeah. So it's not that hard.
Like whenever we meet before work.
Yeah. Just be like, what's up, dude?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, what you doing?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey. You know.
Yeah.
You know, this is fun. Again, thank you so much for coming on here, though. No problem, it was really cool for you to do that, you know. And
definitely got to get Jacob next.
I know. I'm kind of curious.
Glenn would be cool.
Dude, Jacob's gonna go freaking.
Dude, I was talking to him, and I guess he had a rough upbringing.
Yeah. He told me.
I was like, dude, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's why he kind of stutters a lot. And I was like, wow, dude, I was like, at least you kind of have gotten over that. And, you know, because some people do judge the parents for that.
Yeah.
Especially since it's not a good upbringing, or let's just say, like, I don't know, their parents beat them or whatever. It's like, once you get of age, like, I don't know, 18, 20, you got to kind of self-reflect. Especially, like, yourself, you got to kind of self-reflect.
Like a certain someone that's at work.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I'm like, you just gotta self-reflect and just be like, you know, maybe this isn't good and maybe this is good. Maybe my parents did the best they could, maybe they didn't. Whatever, like, you gotta move on.
Depends on you.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta move on.
It depends on how you know what, that's interesting too, because what really makes it this experience interesting on Amazon is obviously not necessarily the work, it's the people there. Mm-hmm. You meet so many different people there.
You meet so many people with different backgrounds.
Different backgrounds all the time, and then some people are pretty chill, some people are not. And then besides that, like, once you get to talk to them, sometimes you kind of try to help them. You know I have. Hella times.
Oh, yeah.
Hella times.
I remember.
Hella times. And even you a little bit.
Yeah.
If I may. Is it cool if I can talk about it, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know,
Yeah, I did vape for a little while, and then I stopped because I realized, you know, it was a problem.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about, the self-reflection. You gotta self-reflect because sometimes you realize that you may be doing something that wasn't actually a good idea. Mm-hmm. So you gotta kind of check yourself on stuff like that. Yeah. Especially, like, I mean, harder stuff too. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I have ever done harder stuff, but like just that. I mean, just when you realize it's a problem.
Let me ask you, what are your thoughts on, since you're the one that does it, because I've never vaped. Mm-hmm. For sure. I haven't done any drug. Mm-hmm. I swear to goodness, I've not done one. I'm innocent, right? You vape. I'm not saying, and like you said, you don't do anything else. No. And, oh yeah, you did. My apologies.
Oh, it's all good.
And let me ask, from your personal experience, what are your thoughts on vaping?
It depends on the person. Also, it depends on if they take it to the extreme.
Yeah.
Because some people are just like, dude, I have to have it. That's what I mean by checking yourself. Like, I didn't need it, but it sounded good. And certain people just don't like it.
Yeah.
So you gotta respect that too. Like if I ask you, "Oh, can I vape in here?" And you're like, "No." I'm like, "All right, no problem."
Yeah.
And you gotta be respectful about it. Because some people just don't care.
I had a friend of mine where I used to hang out with this whole group, and I had him in the back of my car. And back then, my little sister, she's 9 now. Yeah. But back then, she was like 4, and I would always pick her up from school.
Oh yeah.
And then my friend, I won't say his name, but he was basically he was a huge vapor, and he did that, weed, mushrooms, he did all that stuff.
Oh my god.
He was into that. Yeah. And then when we were in the back, we were with the group, my car was full, and he was like, "Hey, is it cool if I vape?" And I said, respectfully, just not in the car, just because my sister's here, and I don't know if that's
gonna freak out or something?
Do anything. No, like, I had all the windows up, we were driving, and then smoke came, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought something caught on fire, and it was just him vaping. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I had to pull over and lower the windows.
Yeah. It's okay only if you do it and you respect people about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like boundaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's with most things too. Like if I was like, "Oh, can I smoke some weed in your car?" and you're like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay, no problem." Some people will be like, "No, I have to have it." It's like, no, dude.
Part of the reason why I am not really for vaping, which honestly made me concerned for you, just because I saw how often you were doing it at the time. He hasn't done it for a while.
No,
which is great.
Yeah, I know.
Great. You know what? Shout out, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome,
real.
that guy. But the reason why I was concerned was because I saw how you were on that. And then I even heard that it really increases your anxiety.
Well, it increases your anxiety for sure, and it also makes you a little aggressive. So like when you don't have it, you kind of like, I need to have it.
It's kind of like if you're getting off an addiction. Like exactly. You're gonna
like,
be hella.
An addiction is definitely, it's hard. It's all about discipline for sure.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Discipline is a big motivator in your life for sure.
I mean, dude. You know my background.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. I'm still disciplining myself.
Yeah. Discipline will take you many places, especially like as a man.
Oh,
it's completely different.
Dude, totally. Dude, as a man, you have more responsibility to have your shit in order.
Exactly. You have to have your shit in order.
Yeah.
Or else shit will go sideways even more. If you don't have your shit in order, you're screwed.
Thank you.
You're screwed.
You know how many times I told people this?
No, I agree for sure. You've heard of Jordan Peterson or no?
Yeah.
So him for sure. He's always he's a psychologist, to give some people some background, and he's always telling people, clean up your room, keep your shit in order, take care of yourself, you take care of your kids if you have any, like do what is deemed necessary to take care of yourself, like working out for instance. You have to do that stuff too, because this is a physical vessel, like you have to take care of it.
You have to take care of your body, man.
For sure, exactly. I mean, who knows where we go after this? Some people believe paradise, some people believe heaven, some people believe nowhere, like atheists believe like, oh, we just die and that's it. Like some Christian people are like, we go to heaven, which I do believe in that. I do believe we go to heaven.
We're going to talk about that soon.
For sure. I mean, I do believe in heaven because there's got to be a higher power.
There is.
Who created Earth? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh.
For sure.
We'll go into that right now in a bit, right? Because that is a conversation that I wanted to have with you. When it comes down to like discipline, I absolutely agree, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know what's funny? Like, nowadays, there's so many people who are, like, influencers online or whatever, that nowadays recently have been talking a lot. Messages mainly towards guys.
Oh, yeah,
maybe women, too, but mainly for guys, because, you know, there's always a lot of, like...
It's different responsibilities.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
I tend to live, like, in the past a little bit. Not, like, physically or emotionally, but just the old ways. Like, oh, the men take care of the household. The men do the outside work. The women cook. The women clean. All that makes sense. And all of that has worked for years.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, women can do more.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying women can't do that. Yeah. It's just kind of that's how shit has been running for years.
Right. I mean, even in the Bible it says, you know, and I am a Christian. So I go off the bat. Well, I was Catholic and now I'm Christian. But, you know, Catholic, Buddhist, and Christian. but
you went 3 different phases. Boop, 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 boop.
I just want to be, I'm being honest. No, yeah, like there's a lot of religions that go based off that.
Sure.
You know.
And I mean, if you look at that has worked for years and years.
It has.
It has. Yeah.
You know, and let me ask you, because I want to talk about discipline. Yeah. Right. When it comes down to discipline, what do you think is making things hard nowadays?
You mean like for men or for women? Or just in general?
Let's say in general.
For discipline? Well, discipline basically means, if you look it up in the dictionaries, do what needs to be done. Yeah. Not what wants to be done. Like, for instance, some people don't work out. It's because it's painful. It hurts. Yeah. It's like, well...
It can be a little annoying,
it can be uncomfortable.
It's an achievement, though.
It's an achievement if you just set yourself a goal. Like my dad always told me is, have a goal in life. Yeah. If you don't have a goal, there's no purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kind of like one of our buddies at work.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I'll leave his name out of it, but
for sure,
he is a good guy. And
He's a good guy.
He is someone who I am still trying to talk to here and there. He has a bit of a negative mindset.
For sure.
Where it's like, oh, I'm just here to live and I'll die soon. And I'm like...
You're like, that's no purpose.
Buddy, that's not true.
Yeah. you gotta have a purpose in life, whether that's acting, whether that's just finding a job, whether that's taking care of your wife, taking care of your girlfriend. You gotta have a goal.
Yeah.
You know? For me, a long time I was like, I'm a lone wolf, I'm doing what I want to do, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Now it's kind of shifted over the years, like ever since after high school, it's like, I've become more of a family man, you know? Yeah. Taking care of my family, taking care of my mom, my dad. I'm not saying financially, I'm just saying physically. Like, what do you need? I don't know, I didn't tell you this, but over the holidays, there was a injury that happened to one of my family members, and my dad was pouring rubbing alcohol in this little fire, and her whole face caught on fire. So I went to school for E.M.T for a little while, and my aunt, she's a nurse, and her boyfriend is also a nurse. Mm-hmm. So they immediately took care of her, but I was like, what do you need? What do you need? And they were like, Aquaphor for the lips, helps with burns. I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, also cold too. And she was it was pretty scary actually too, because we had her outside. When she got burned, I actually had to take my girlfriend home for something. Right. And then I slammed back home. Went like 80.
I was about to say going 85.
Oh man, I was just cruising on the way home.
Right.
Oh, and I was like, I gotta get home, because I was like, someone needs help. So I was like, I need to be home. And so I slammed home or smashed home. That'd be a better term. So I smashed home. We had her outside, and I had a bucket full of ice, right? And I was like, all right, because her hands had blisters. So there's 1st degree, 2nd degree, and 3rd degree. She had about a little bit of 1st degree and 2nd degree burns. Yeah. So I was like, all right, put your hand in this water. It's gonna hurt. Yeah. It was cold outside. It was like, oh my gosh. It was the week before I actually started working.
Really?
Yes. So my sister got married the week of that I started working, and then that next week my sister got married to her husband, which is a great guy, by the way.
If you don't mind me asking, like, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
And at what age did you feel like you needed like you started really thinking about discipline?
Probably like 18. But then I was like, I didn't really hone in until like 17 or till like 19, 20. I was like, all right, that's I need to take care of certain stuff.
Honestly, that was my mindset, and I can say this because it's obviously very out there. Like, I'm gender fluid, still dealing with my my gender identity, here and there sometimes. Yeah, but I know it was definitely towards the end when I was core for like 6 years, right? Because I came out when I was 18. I started transitioning when I was 19, 20. And then I detransitioned about 2 years ago. And it wasn't towards the end where when I was getting ready to take care of shit, then like I started really like paying attention to certain people talking about being a man. And I was like, whatever. And then like I started hearing more and more, and it got to the point where I could tell it was like something like knocking in the back of your head, like, I know you hear me. It felt like that. Definitely.
It's hard because like some men don't understand. Yeah. And then some men do. Some men realize that they have responsibilities to take care of. Some people, such as their mother, such as their father, their sister, their brother, or like, especially if you have kids, you have certain responsibilities.
Definitely when you get kids,
you have to make a certain amount of money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
You have to. There's no questions asked.
That's why I don't want to have any kids for quite a while, because I want to be financially stable before that time comes. For me.
The problem with a lot of people is they wait too long.
That's true. That is true.
They do wait too long, and then they have problems, like fertility problems. Like some women wait till they're like 40. Have you ever seen that chart? So women's eggs after about 35 go from like 100,000 to like 200.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because the only thing I know is just basic stuff on that part a little bit. Like I know. I think like at 43 or 44 they start giving birth. Women, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So 35 is when their eggs drop.
Yeah.
So this is actually very strange to think about. So whenever you have a daughter, the mother actually. The daughter is carrying her eggs that she's gonna have. So technically, when you have a daughter in your belly as a woman, you're carrying your granddaughter technically, because you're already she's already has her eggs that she's gonna have. Isn't it weird?
Yeah, it is.
So when a mother is carrying her daughter, right, her daughter already has the set amount of eggs that she's gonna have. Yes. So technically, you're carrying your granddaughter and your daughter at the same time. That's wild.
It is. I'm trying to process that. I never do that. That's when you were trying to be an E.M.T?
Yeah. They told me a bunch of stuff on that, They told me that, like, it's always good to carry a first aid kit. You always need to...
Yeah, we know that one.
You always need to be ready.
Yeah, you never know. Things can happen at any moment, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, and there's a lot of things like, I don't know if you ever heard of Damar Hamlin in football. Mm-hmm. So there was a football player, right? So there's concussions. You know about concussions, right? When you hit your head against something because your brain's not meant to... Your brain's not meant to take the hit.
Yeah, impacts
so your brain is sitting in what's called cerebrospinal fluid. It's just floating. Yeah. Right? So when it hits something, your brain just... And so that's what a concussion is called. There's two names for it, which was the forward motion and the back motion. I forgot that. But, so everybody thought Damar Hamlin got a concussion, but that's not actually what happened. What happened was because he got up. He's walking, and then he just collapses. He falls down. So what actually happened was, it's called commotio cordis. And what that is basically when someone times your heart rate perfectly, it'll shut your heart rate down. And that's why he was actually pronounced dead. If you look him up, look at the clip.
No, I do believe you, only because, like, have you ever seen the movie Concussion with Will Smith?
Yes, that was a great movie. That guy actually, Bened Omalu is the guy's name. Yeah. That, who Will Smith was...
playing?
Yes. There's another movie called League of Denial. I was actually shown that in high school.
Really?
Yes. It was great.
I like movies like that that are very like into the like the mindset of stuff like that. Like analysis.
Well, and also that's the whole like topic, League of Denial, the movie, the actual with Ben Rumalu. Just that whole movie. The whole process from like how the NFL wanted nothing to do with it was because the whole NFL, the logo's a shield. So it's like they're protecting their own.
If it's done right, any movie that's based on a true story that's done right is always going to be interesting.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know, that's why I love watching because I just want to see how did this go. Even though I know there's some minor changes here and there, but...
For sure.
Dude.
Well, you kind of have to make certain changes for Hollywood. You just have to. Like that movie...
Dramatic effect.
Well, and also you kind of have to compile everything into an hour and 30 minutes or 2 hours.
Yeah, I know.
You can't drag it out to be, a 4-hour movie. Like that movie Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
You know the backstory behind that?
I saw the actual guy that...
Marcus Luttrell.
Right, yeah. I saw that interview he did on Joe Rogan.
Oh, it was great.
And he said that he didn't want Mark Wahlberg playing him.
He didn't because any war movie always has a big celebrity. You're like, oh yeah, he's going to survive.
Exactly, like Tom Cruise. Yeah, he survives everything. He always survives. Right, always. So you already know what to expect. Exactly. Like Top Gun. I love Top Gun, but when he got shot in the jet, even I was like, okay, he's alive. You know? So
I saw the old one too. And the new one, I think it's called Maverick. Yeah. Yeah, both great.
Oh, totally, dude.
Great.
Both of them had different meanings. Meanings. You know, like the first one was just about, it was just living at the time. Like it was a very fun movie. The first Top Gun, you know, and definitely like advertisement for people coming into the Air Force. And then with this one, it was more about like modern technology, Maverick, right? Because, you know, all the things they did were actual stunts and, you know, and flying jets. And it was so investing. And I love the movie for that. And what I loved about that movie, it was just a movie.
Yeah.
There was no message.
No, there was no subliminals, nothing. It was just straight movie.
Woke ass shit. Nothing. It was just like a popcorn flick from beginning to end. And I was like, thank you.
There was a recent movie I saw that was subliminals, and I was like, I went with my brother, and I was like, yeah. Oh, Endgame. Avengers Endgame.
Really?
Yeah, there was a subliminal in one of the scenes. He was like eating a taco, and it had like a Taco Bell symbol, and I was like, oh, of course.
Oh,
it's like, of course.
Advertisements.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, of course. Come on.
I mean, like,
I was like, that's a little cheesy, but okay, I get it.
Here's the thing for me, like, I'm a huge DC fan, right?
Hell yeah.
And I like, if you see Man of Steel, there's a lot of that in there.
Did you see Black Adam?
I have.
Did you see Shazam?
Both? Yes, I have.
I actually watched them recently. It was pretty good. Yeah, I actually thoroughly enjoyed them.
Keep going.
Black Adam was good too. I did enjoy that one.
It was fine.
Unfortunately, Dwayne Johnson, I guess, got Henry Cavill kicked from DC, but okay.
Oh, no. Dwayne Johnson wanted him back because they took him out.
So then they rehired him, and then DC was like, wait a minute.
They brought James Gunn. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do know.
And he resetted everything. Everybody got fired.
Yeah, I guess he's playing in the new one like 3 different characters or something. The same dude. I'm like, why?
I'm just going to be real. I've said this before, and I'm trying to avoid this topic because people already know where I'm at. But I'm just worn out on superhero movies.
For sure.
DC or Marvel. Like, I'm just like, you know, I just want to take a break. We get it.
They should take like a gap year.
Yeah.
Like a year or two, you know, like, alright, no superhero movies are coming out, and like, enjoy the break.
Like, the thing with DC that I'll give them is that even though they were going, and they're going to start over, unfortunately, like, at least there's a little bit of a gap right now.
For sure.
You know?
A little bit. Small one.
With Marvel, it's just constant.
They're constantly pumping out a movie or show or series.
And you're just like...
Come on.
I don't care.
Literally.
You know, it's like, take a break. Like, take 10 years and people will miss it. And then, I'm pretty sure...
The whole Iron Man and Captain America sequence was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The original Phase 1 to Phase 3, awesome.
But you know why? Because they were going based off the comics. And most importantly, they had a plan.
For sure.
Right now, everything's just scattered. I don't know what they're doing.
I have no idea.
I'm so lost.
I stopped after, I think it was Eternals.
Eternals?
Eternals sucked.
It was bad.
It was horrible. I was like, I went to go see it at like 10 at night, and I was like, man, I'm borderline falling asleep.
I know. I was like, when is something gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, I liked some of the characters, like Icarus, I think was the guy's name, or the chick's name. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Look, like, some of them were interesting. It was just too much characterization.
Yeah.
For 10 people, and I was
man.
Like, if y'all don't do something. Like, I get it, but it's a superhero film, though. Like, it's not a drama. Like, let's get to it. Yeah.
What do you think of Ant-Man, Quantum Realm?
I hated it. It was bad.
It was alright, but it just... Some movies just dive into it too quickly.
I'll tell you, I don't know how you see this, but I'll give my point of view. I don't like the Marvel movies nowadays because, for one, it's very, very CGI heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, even though it's obviously CGI, you don't want it to stand out too much. To the point where you're like, wow, that's CGI. You want to be like, wow, they did a good job making it with CGI.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
like Christopher Nolan, like the Oppenheimer, barely any CGI.
Dude, he does practical effects all the time. And that's why I love this film.
That's why most of his movies look so good. Like The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises.
Everything, almost everything was practical. But totally, man.
Love those movies.
And the thing with the reason I don't like Quantumania, I'm not saying this to hate. Like, genuinely, I have reasons. The jokes are too bad now.
Yes.
Like,
I feel like Paul Rudd kind of tries a little too hard on that.
Sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, MODOK, the flying head, remember what he said? I'm not a dick! And I was like, wow, these people are getting paid millions of dollars and that's what they
just for that. And also the CGI for that kind of sucked.
It was bad.
Even that, did you ever play the Avengers game on PlayStation 4?
I did not, but I heard it was bad.
I played it. I never bought it, but I played the demo. I was like, oh, it's kind of tight. I was like, I can't wait for this to come out. And then I heard the reviews. They were like, it
was bad. Now, they came out with two. Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can get that one. But
Guardians is great. I played it. I finished it. For some reason, that game was super good and Avengers sucked.
Oh, man. Who made Avengers? Wasn't it...
It was the same one that does Final Fantasy. That same company. Square Enix.
Square Enix, yes.
They did
That's what I was thinking of.
And that's why I was surprised. I was like,
Square Enix usually kills it out of the park almost every game. Final Fantasy kills it almost every time. That Ragnarok DLC just came out.
I know, you're talking about
I downloaded it last night. I was like, oh, that's going to be great.
Thanks for bragging.
I know. Buy a PS5, bro. Come on.
I'm trying. I swear I'm trying.
That Spider-Man 2 game was great. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it was great.
I already know what happens. Because, of all the stuff involved in it. Man. Because people talk about it, Because I was curious.
Well, at least they didn't spoil the whole game for you, though. So they might have spoiled the end. I don't care if someone spoils the end for me. But the middle ground is usually the middle. Oh, yeah,
I don't know everything that goes on in the game, but like the main parts of what people were talking about it, I was like, that's
MJ dies, so I'm just messing with you, bro.
You really think they're gonna kill off this version of MJ?
No,
exactly.
They did. But it's funny though. And GTA I've played numerous of times. GTA 5.
Let's talk about this real quick. So GTA. Right? You obviously saw the new trailer.
Yes, it looks good, but it's different.
Yeah, I mean it's been over 10 years.
It's coming out in 25, dude.
That was stupid. It's 2020.
But I know Rockstar, when they do something, it's usually really good. Look at Red Dead.
Obviously.
Look at Red Dead 2.
I love Red Dead
Redemption. I never played it, but I heard it's great.
You have to do it. I love Westerns with a passion.
Really?
And I'm telling you, it has some of the best story games. Okay. There was times where like there's a mission in there where you're just going nuts with a crew. Oh yeah. And I was going, yeah. To the point my mom was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, sorry mom, I'm too in it, man. It's like a movie, but I'm in it. I freaking love it. No, yeah, anything Rockstar does is always beast.
I mean, look at GTA 4, GTA 5. They've killed it every time.
Did you hear what the CEO said? What he wanted to do? People were like, you better not. He felt like because of the amount of money that people made from playing video games, he felt like, you know what, maybe we should come up with a system where like if you play our game, we should charge you by the hour. Oh my gosh.
No.
That's like the most greedy corporate type of thing you could ever say.
Did you hear about the new settings in PlayStation? They've completely changed the settings. So usually, especially for the PlayStation 5 now, I don't know if anybody plays with PlayStation 5 on anything, but they've completely changed the settings. Back in the day, like PlayStation 4, they would never listen in on your conversations. Now there's the new setting that you have to agree to term that they can listen to your conversation and it can be used against you in court.
What the hell?
Yeah. I was like, what, dude? I was like, that's wild. So like any conversations now you got to be careful on PlayStation. I was like, wow. I know.
You know, like, why would you need to hear my conversation for? Like, what the heck? Like, it's
freedom of speech, man. I'm telling you, it's get out of here.
We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah,
right?
we were.
So we were talking about conspiracy theories, right?
Oh man.
And then I know one thing that you were asking me was like, do you think that we have freedom of speech? And I was like, we do, but they are restricting it.
They're restricting it
a lot. You know, like with social media, it's like I get what they're doing. Like, no, you have freedom of speech just not on this platform.
So I just saw this too on Instagram. I don't know if you have Instagram. Yes, you do.
Of course.
But if you go into settings, and privacy, and you go into, I think, content preferences, I think, there's a setting that says, oh, propaganda. Fact checking. Do you want us to have this on? It's on by default. Do you want it to be more or less? Or do you want it completely off? To basically censor it. I was like, off please. I want to see everything.
Oh, I'm going to try that now. Yeah. I did not know that.
Wow, that's wild. So yeah, they have content preferences on Instagram. I saw a video. I was like, no way, that's true. And then I went in the settings. I was like, yep, it's true. I was like, wow, it's on by default. It's like, of course it is.
Dude, things are just getting crazy.
Yo, things are getting wild.
Like super out there, man.
It's almost impossible to say how you feel or think now. That's almost impossible.
That's why, and this is just me. I don't know how people are gonna feel. I really don't give a rat's ass. This is just
neither
me,
do I, but
right. Like this is why I personally feel like religion is very important. You know,
for sure.
Because there are just things going on that I won't say on camera, but there are things going on where it's like at least be ready. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, be ready for anything.
Like for instance, like because I'm Christian, I want to make sure that because of my belief, right, and it is the belief that that things are going to happen.
For sure.
I told you this, right?
Yes, you did.
I give you a Bible.
You did,
right?
You did. I asked for one. You were like, I got an extra one. I was like, all right, cool.
And I gave it to you. Just
I'd love to read it
like that, you know. And then I told you the things that were going to happen.
Yeah.
And things are happening.
For sure.
It's scary.
It is scary.
You know, especially from what I told you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Just out of curiosity. This is mainly maybe just for me. Out of everything that I told you, what was the one thing that really got you thinking?
Probably how like everything you said in the book actually is happening. It's wild.
All Revelations?
Yes, exactly. That one was wild. I was like, no way. And then you're like, you literally this, that. And I was like, dude, that's happening right now. I was like, with all the wars going on, I mean, Palestine, for instance, you were like, that's gonna happen. And I was like, wow. So.
Like, you remember what I said about Revelations, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That it's the very last chapter.
Very last chapter.
And it's the one chapter that talks about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All the other chapters in the Bible talks about things that have previously happened, how it came to be, what Jesus said during this time, what happened after. Revelations is the only chapter where it's like, this hasn't happened yet. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So be ready.
Be ready.
And it's the scariest one.
Yes.
And that's why I tell people, ladies and gentlemen, please just don't judge a book by its cover. Read the Bible. I'm telling you, it's going to benefit you. And even if for whatever the reason it's not for you, at least you read it.
Yeah.
You know?
At least you could say that I have read that book.
Yes.
You know, even if you didn't like it, you could say, hey, at least I read it. At least I attempted to understand the knowledge in that book.
Absolutely,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah, and then you said you got closer to God.
I did a little bit for sure.
Right?
Over the time, yeah. Definitely, like, when you're lost, you can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of that one country singer? I think his name is Oliver Anthony.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Dude, his backstory is wild. So the week before he released that song, I think it's called Rich Men of the Northland or something like that. So the week before that, he was doing, like, crack, cocaine, everything almost, right? And he's like, please, God, straighten my life out. Please, please, I will forever praise you. And then he was like, all right. So then he was like, okay, I'm going to release this song. His buddy was like, dude, I'm telling you, just please release that song. Just please record it. So he did. Within a week, that had 1 million views on it.
Let me ask you something, man.
I was like, that's wild.
Isn't it crazy that when you're in your prime, when you're healthy as heck, if you got things going on for you, you feel like you don't need God, you don't need anything. And then the moment
when
you
shit
feel
gets sideways,
weakness, and the moment you know you're lost, and the moment you know you need help, then who do you turn to?
Turn to him.
The man upstairs, right?
Some people turn to other religions, which is crazy too. Or some people turn to substances. That's when it gets bad.
That's when you're really lost.
I know someone who's like does like cocaine and everything. I'm like, wow, dude. I'm like, bro, you need to chill on that.
I know someone who's in my situation that I'm dealing with, and that's all that person talks about.
What, cocaine?
Oh no, not a drug. Oh, I'm talking about their transition.
Oh wow, that's all they can talk about. Huh?
That's all they talk about. Wow. And it's like I get it. You're happy. You found yourself.
Do what you want, bro.
That's fine. Yeah. But I get it. I'm just saying, you know, like from my personal experience.
I understand.
Yeah, like from my personal experience, I get it. I took pictures. You know, I bragged about, you know, Trans Visibility Day and stuff like that. I get it, but
did you ever go to one of those parades?
I did not. Oh, one time.
One time?
This was.
What'd you think of it? Didn't like it?
You're putting it on the spot, man.
Kind of on the spot, eh?
I'll just say this, and I'll keep it respectful. Don't get me wrong. I only went one time, and believe it or not, it was by accident. Because my sister's dad, right? He used to do DJing and lights and sound for like events, and they hired him to go in the city, and I went with him, me, my mom, and my sister over there to help him. But when we went, we didn't know it was a pride parade. Oh. Because I got there and I started seeing people dressed a certain way, and I was like, what the heck's going on here?
Wait a minute.
I saw the rainbow flag and I went, oh this is a. Oh, okay. And then I was like, all right, I was a little curious. I never been to one before. Yeah. And then right away I was like, yeah, that's a little too much.
Yeah, he's a little too much.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But that's all I'll say, that it was just, at times it can be too
much. For sure.
All the time, actually. It can be too much.
Yeah.
Because I've heard people who do go to Pride, I just ask them, like, how was it? Or what do you think? They tell me all the time, it's fine, but it's not even really a celebration anymore, in my opinion. It's more like a party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it? And they're like, yeah, because people are just doing random things there all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't know, because I don't go.
Yeah.
This is just what I'm being told. But I'm just like, I mean, it does look like it. He's like, yeah, so.
I can see why. I mean, I've never been to any protesting, but it got bad. Like, I think it was last year. The protesting was out of hand. Like, when COVID hit and the BLM hit, oh man, it was like evil out. I was like, this is bad.
Dude, there were strikes going on now. Like,
there was one that was gonna happen right near my house. I was like, this isn't good. This is not good at all. So I was like, if anybody comes in here, you ain't gonna like it.
Dude, my mom went on strike recently.
Oh yeah, for what?
Because Kaiser, yeah, they were having a strike. Something about like unfair work conditions, and they were trying to take care of that. And then when she was doing that, then, you know. In my industry, we had a strike. It was a writer's strike. Then became an actor's strike.
I think it was.
SAG-AFTRA, that was the thing for 5 months. I graduated in the middle of it. Oh man! And it was hard for me to try to audition because I was like, oh man, there's all this stuff going on.
I know
I couldn't even find an agent.
Dang.
I applied to 2 different agencies. One didn't call back. One did, and then they were like, we like your resume, we like your look, but we can't take you right now because even if we do. There's no work because of the strike. Exactly. And I was like, damn it. No.
You're like, dude, why?
Right, yeah. I
know a prop master out in LA, actually. He's worked on a few projects. I was like, oh, nice. You worked on the new Star Wars, Ahsoka. You worked on that. You heard of that? I don't know.
I have.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Ahsoka was pretty cool. I enjoyed that one myself.
I like how you're like, I like that one.
I don't know about you, but I did enjoy it. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Me too. But I gotta be real. We can talk about that if you want.
I didn't finish Mandalorian. I watched like an episode of that. I was like, alright, that's good. But Ahsoka was cool.
I'm gonna say this. I don't like Disney's handling of Star Wars. It's been all over the place.
It is all over
especially that one lady that's in charge of it all.
What's her name?
What is it? Kathleen Kennedy? Is that her name? Yeah, she's like in charge of Star Wars.
I thought George Lucas was in charge of Star Wars.
No, he sold it.
Oh, he sold it to Disney. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then there's this one lady. She's in charge. It's the MCU, but
it's the MCU, but times 2.
Oh no, not MCU, the MCU. It's a nickname they're giving the MCU because they're just making it all female characters.
I know.
I mean, which is fine. There's so many in the comics, but it's like.
But you do have Anakin, classic. Luke, classic. Han Solo, classic.
No, but okay. So even putting the shows aside, the new trilogy that they set it up.
I did enjoy the Rise of Skywalker. That was pretty cool.
What the fuck?
What? You didn't enjoy it?
That was a shitty ass movie.
Dude! I liked Darth Sidious in that one. That was cool. How he came back. No?
No!
Oh.
No, Eric!
Oh, man. I enjoyed it.
What am I hearing?
I know.
What? Oh, my God. Want me to tell you why I didn't like that movie?
Why?
There were many reasons. For one, Finn.
Yeah.
Ray! Ray, just Ray, the whole movie.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything. Just
that was pretty funny.
Ray, she was too overpowered.
Yes.
She did some forms of training, and then there was just times where I was like, but how did she get there?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I liked Ahsoka, which was like a show on Disney Plus. And the only reason I did like it was because she trained with Anakin. She was Anakin's apprentice.
Okay, so I'll say this: the shows do give you some interesting, cool moments.
Yes,
I'll give them that. But I don't like what they're doing with the stories.
It's kind of changing it.
It's like the most anticipated one I was looking forward to was Obi-Wan. Yes,
I did enjoy that.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed with it. Because for some reason they were focusing on this new character, the one that worked for Darth Vader,
I know
that general girl,
the sister. Yeah,
yeah,
she's called I think the 3rd or 9th sister or something like that.
Well, all I know is that she got way more attention than she needed.
Yeah,
and then I didn't like the fact that she was the one to tell Obi-Wan who Darth Vader was, and I was like, why is it coming from you?
He already knew who it was.
No, but it wasn't even just that. For me, I was like, all the tension with Obi-Wan should have been between him and Darth Vader. Why is this new character delivering all this?
Yeah, why is this new character coming in? It doesn't even matter.
The biggest part that I call bullshit was when Darth Vader, I read the comics, he's heartless as fuck. And then in the show, freaking he's choking her and then he just goes, I forgive you. I went,
no you don't.
Bullshit. No, that's Darth Vader.
In the comics, he is very powerful, and in the movies and shows, they barely even show it.
Dude, in the comics, he's heartless. I've seen him do better kills in the comics than the show.
What is it called?
Star Wars Unleashed.
No, it's a game. Jedi Fallen Survivor, something like that.
Fallen Order?
Yes.
Fallen Order.
Yes, did you ever play it?
I have played it recently.
Dude, the Darth Vader in that one, he is powerful. That's how he should be.
And that's why I'm like, where is that in the shows?
It's never. Even in the movies, he's like, oh, let me pull that, let me pull this. Like, bro, no, destroy it. Destroy this.
And that's part of the reason why I didn't like the new trilogy that they did.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of problems with Kylo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially with that mask. He took it off, destroyed it, they brought it back. And I was like, what?
Oh. I did like how they kind of redeemed him a little bit. Yeah, it was alright. It was cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then Darth Sidious, how actually Rey was actually Darth Sidious, I think, cousin or something like that?
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter, yeah. I was like,
I didn't like that she said, I'm a Skywalker. I was like, no, you're fucking not. No,
no you're not.
I was like, no, you're not.
You got trained by Luke, but that doesn't
make you a Skywalker.
No.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I don't like you. There's so many reasons for... I didn't like the handling of the OG characters especially. Yeah. I didn't like how they handled Leia. I didn't like how they handled Luke.
Yeah, Leia just died. I was like, oh.
I didn't like how they handled Han.
Han Solo, yeah.
I was just like...
I get it, Leia did die in real life. Carrie Fisher, which is very sad, rest in peace her. But yeah. They just was like, alright, let's just put her to sleep.
No! But did you know they didn't even have a plan? They improvised one movie at a time.
Really?
Yeah, they were like...
doing one movie at a time?
Yep. And at least with Lucas, he planned all 3 movies and was like, I'm going to do it in this one, and this one, and then finally in that one. Here, they were just like... Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? That's so stupid.
I really did like the original ones. The original ones.
Of course.
Like Empire Strikes Back.
Besides Star Wars, my friend. I don't want to be the one leading the discussions. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
I mean, Christianity was a good conversation we've had before. On how, like, just everything about it was pretty good. It's hard when you feel lost at times, because, I mean, every man eventually will feel lost. Especially a man, a woman will too.
Yeah,
being like
anybody.
Anybody will.
Anybody.
But men mostly, because, like, you have more moral responsibilities.
I was just about to say that.
You have more responsibilities, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta take care of your family, you gotta take care of the house, gotta take care of the outside, gotta take all mechanical, your job. You very rarely will see a woman work on a car. I'm not saying that they can't. They can, but they just don't. Hard jobs, like outside, construction, mainly men. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. You don't like it? It's the truth. Just, it is. Anything you want to specifically talk about?
Dude, there's a lot of things to go through.
No, there's so much.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much we could totally go on. Yeah, like, after Amazon, actually, like, what are you planning on doing? Like, are you going to do full-time?
Sure. I'll probably do full-time for a little while, yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah?
It's a maybe because of what I'm trying to do.
I know you told me you may do, you may not, which I get it. So
it's just Amazon is just too
it's very draining.
It's very draining, dude. Especially if you do night shift. I don't have time for anything, and I'm trying to get back onto this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I love everybody. I don't want to not to be hardcore, but like I love everybody that I'm with because you know like you guys are awesome to talk to and hang with. But
You're like, shit, peace.
Like, sorry, I'm tired.
Goodbye. I'm tired. Go to sleep. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's just it can be pretty draining sometimes, you know.
I mean, when you sleep till like 3 PM, I get it.
I miss my whole day. I'm just man. Like,
plus, when you don't work, like me yesterday, I didn't have work.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, usually, 10 o'clock, get ready, go to work, come home at 3, and you're like, I'm still up though.
Yeah.
Like last night, I didn't even go to work, and I was still up, and I was like, shoot.
Because you're just used to it.
You're so used to it.
Yeah.
So you're like, why not even stay up and then clonk out?
Isn't it funny?
It doesn't even work.
It's funny. It's easy for you to stay up, but it's hard for you to go to sleep.
Oh yeah, it sucks, man.
You work with what you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, when it comes down to religion, on this one mainly, I think you said you had a question that you wanted to ask me about me being a Buddhist, or
no, it's just what made you switch? Because you said you were what, Buddhist first? No, Catholic, right?
Yeah.
You were Catholic to Buddhism, then to Christianity. What made you switch from Buddhism to Christianity?
Ah, I see.
I know you said when you were like kind of going through that whole like phase of like, when you woke Cora, and then you were like, all right, I'm being a Buddhist now, and then you switched and like all that.
Okay, cool. Damn, okay, there's the first one asked me that.
Yeah.
So, I was Catholic. I was raised Catholic my whole life, right? And there's a difference between being Catholic and being Christian, right?
For sure.
With Christianity, you worship Jesus and solely Jesus, because you can only go to heaven by accepting Jesus fully. Where being Catholic, right, in Catholicism, is more traditional, ceremonial-wise. And obviously you worship not just Jesus, but the 12 saints. I never did that. 12 saints and the Virgin Mary. But as much as I appreciate what they did, I worship Jesus only.
Yeah.
And as a Catholic, I was very aware of God and who Jesus was. And I did pray here like quite often, and I did used to go to church all the time. I used to be involved and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I started going back less and less. But I'll be honest, if I'm being very honest, and I am God, I wasn't very into religion like that at the time, even though I honestly was, but not as much as I am now.
Yeah.
Like I'll say maybe like at the time like 30%.
Now were you like 90 or 100?
Dude, like 110. 110. You know what I'm saying? And then when I came out as trans, dude, that was hard.
Well, like you've said, like we've discussed before, you're kind of fighting a battle between yourself and also the Lord.
It's more of, this is what I want, but I know God is telling me...
Well, he doesn't like it. So you're like kind of fighting the good fight. You're like,
it's more like, let me put it this way. My mom tells me this, and this is absolutely true. God has a plan for everybody.
For sure.
But only if, obviously, accept him as God. Because he makes it clear he's a jealous God.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. And he can only give a plan for you if you truly love and worship him. And I do. But the thing is that because of the fact that we're human, right? We sin. We're sinners.
Oh yeah, everyone sins for sure.
And even though there are some sins that are easy to forgive for,
some are.
Transitioning is, I don't know, like that's a different one.
You'll figure it out.
Right? That's what
eventually.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where, because of my transition and because of what I knew of basic knowledge at the time about God and Jesus, I clearly got frustrated, which is a majority of people nowadays.
Yeah.
You're quick to judge, and most importantly, from my experience, you're quick to put blame.
You are definitely quick. I mean, just in life in general, something goes sideways, you're like, oh, your fault.
See,
no.
This is the thing. Where I screwed up terribly, and I'm always going to regret this, is the fact that I put a lot of my anger out on Jesus and God, when really... Jesus just wants nothing but to save me.
Peace, yeah.
Yeah,
nothing but peace.
And I was finally just talking about that. But because I was so frustrated because of the circumstances, my anger overtook me, which is common.
It sounds like you almost didn't even understand what was really happening.
I was so angry that it's like if somebody was to go, hey, listen, like, hear me out. No! You don't like me! It's like if I did that,
Like, calm down.
Yeah, it's like I did that. And it got to the point where I tried to be an atheist.
Atheist?
I tried.
Didn't work.
Tried.
Didn't even work.
I was not that stupid. Like, I tried to at some point. I was like, I know too much. I can't.
Yeah, this ain't even working.
In college, I took a religious class. I had to fulfill a requirement. And then I was learning all about what it was to be Muslim, how it was to be Hindu. And then I came across Buddhism. And then what I liked about Buddhism at the time was that they said that it's a way of life. And most importantly, it's accepting to everybody and anybody. And then that's what made me convert to Buddhism at the time, was because I was like, I'm accepted. Like, they don't judge me. You can go there, you worry about your mind, your mental state of life, you better yourself and all this stuff. Buddhism is a way of life. And Buddha isn't a god. He even says it himself. I'm not a guy. I'm sorry. I'm not a god. What I'm doing here is just teaching a way of life. Even he admits that he doesn't know the meaning of life. He said it himself in a quote. And I was just like, oh wow, and I like that. Like, Buddha, I'm not worshiping another god. It's just, I'm just living life. Yeah. And that's what I wanted at the time. And then when doing that, I was a Buddhist for about 2 years, and when I told my family, they didn't believe me. They were making jokes and all that other stuff, and I took it seriously because I was just like, I don't appreciate you guys kind of doing that, because I was actually being serious about that. Like, you know that I'm struggling with faith, you know I'm struggling with myself. Yeah. I'm honestly trying to take care of myself, but I need to feel something.
Yeah, like love almost.
And then that's where I woke my ass up, which is that I said, damn, I was that desperate.
For something.
For acceptance. Mm-hmm. That I converted to another religion. Mm-hmm. Because I was that desperate. Like, I felt like I wasn't getting it from Jesus. Mm-hmm. And my family was crumbling apart around me because at the time of being trans, some people were okay with it in my family. And some people weren't. They made it more than clear.
It's very wild clear how like different people have like different opinions, and it's just like you could have one person on this side. It's like, oh, I completely accept you, and others are like, okay, get away from me.
Yeah,
it's wild.
I experienced all of it, dude. Yeah, and I'm not exaggerating. My dad was the one that said, away from me. Mm-hmm. My mom was the one that's like, I'm gonna love you regardless.
Did she take a minute to process it?
Who?
Your mom, or she like immediately was like,
everybody took a minute to process it. Everybody.
I never asked you that. So how long did it take? Where it was like, okay, like I understand what you're saying. You know, I understand it. All right, like I accept you. How long did that roughly take, if you know?
It wasn't the fact that they accepted me. It was more the fact that, okay, I accept this situation, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, I understand your circumstances, but I still hate it.
Yeah. Well, they gotta respect you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And your choices.
Yeah.
You as an individual have your own choices.
That's true. I mean, God gave us free will.
Well, exactly.
You know?
Some people don't understand that. Some people are like, no, I have to control you. It's like, no.
Yeah. No. And they knew that too. But honestly, it wasn't even coming across like that to control me. It was more like they were looking out for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And honestly, at the time, I didn't see it that way because I was just like, look, you guys are going to live your lives. I want to live my life. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest, it does sound selfish.
It does sound selfish.
It does, you know, but in the end of the day, dealing with dysphoria is very difficult.
Oh, for sure.
It's very addicting.
For sure.
Very addicting, man. That's my drug.
That's my drug.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the drug that I'm struggling with because I do love the lifestyle. I'm not necessarily queer. I just like being feminine. Mm-hmm. That's it. Then after some time, you know, because everything was crumbling around me, man. School, my relationships with family, at times with friends. Yeah. I was struggling with even just trying to find a job. Yeah. I was struggling even with my career. At one point, I almost gave up acting. Yeah. And I was going to do my backup, which was criminology. And then even with faith, everything was just crumbling around me.
You were just getting lost.
Everything, dude. Yeah. It was so bad. Yeah. Because I was just so frustrated. Mm-hmm. And then it got to a point where I started listening to certain people. Mm-hmm. And then it started motivating me to a point where I was just like...
You're like, okay. I need to change.
Yeah, but then at the time, I'll be honest, I didn't want to admit it though. I was like, no, I could still be like this.
How long did it take you to admit it?
Over a year and a half.
Wow. Yeah.
Because when you're fighting this, but really you should be following this. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, it's kind of hard though. I mean, in life, you have two kind of heads. You know, you got this and you got that to think. Because you got this, I mean, you could be in a bad relationship too.
Because think about it, like, the reason I say that is because a lot of people go by how they feel. Yeah. And I came to the mindset of, okay, just for a second, don't go by how you feel, go by what you know. Exactly. And what you know you need to do, and that is to get my life in order. Mm-hmm. And part of getting my life in order was to not transition, even though I want to.
Eventually you will, though.
I don't know.
You don't know
now, I don't know. Like I said, it's still something that I'm debating, right? Mm-hmm. Because I got things I want to do in life, you know? Yeah, exactly. I want to act. I still, you know, I still have my mom, you know, she really looks out for me. You know, she did a lot more than my dad. And I don't mean to be like that with my dad, but it is true. She was here throughout the whole process.
You got to say what's true, even if it sucks.
You know, it's not easy for me to say that because my dad really, I could tell he struggled with this.
You still talk to him a lot or no?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, like, you know, like I said, he could be a hard ass sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But
they all.
But at the end of the day, yeah, I could tell he didn't like the situation. Yeah. He was devastated. I could tell. He told me himself. You know, he didn't like that because I'm his only son. But I told my dad, you know, Dad, I'm always gonna try. I hope you know that. But at the end of the day, it is dysphoria. Like, it's hard. So one thing that I am proud of today is the amount of self-restraint that I have.
Because discipline almost.
That, yeah. Because, a lot of people, the moment they feel a certain way or
they act on it.
Or anything, they do it.
Well, yeah. And that's the problem with a lot of people do with emotions. I mean, emotions you'll take it over. Yeah. So, like, if you're angry, you'll take it out. Yep. You're sad, you'll just take it out. Yep. Especially anger's a serious one.
Dude, that...
punch holes in walls.
That's why shit was crumbling around me, because I was always mad.
You were angry, huh?
I was mad. Yep. To the point where my mom even told me, I was thinking about kicking you out.
Oh, wow.
Because we were just arguing constantly, the time.
Wow.
Because it was because of my situation.
Yeah.
And even though I told my mom, I understand how you feel, but you gotta understand where I'm coming from too. Like, I can't take it no more, And we were butting heads really bad.
Wow.
But then it got to a point where I was like, that's my mom. I don't want to argue with her.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Gotta respect the parents.
And then, most importantly, I was like, you know what? I don't know why, but I just had this feeling like, let me go back to Jesus. Because Buddhism isn't doing it for
me.
Jesus
was telling you something.
Exactly, my guy. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Like, that's... Like, I was getting a sign, like a feeling...
I'm telling you.
And then slowly but surely, I got baptized. And even that was a struggle. You should have seen me. I was so mad to get in that water, dude.
Oh, really?
Something was preventing me from wanting to get in, and I did. And then the moment you get baptized, the pastor is gonna ask you before you do you accept God or Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Yes or no?
It's yes or no. You know what I was? I was like...
Maybe. You're like...
like it was hard for me to even say yes.
But I bet after you said those words, yes, I bet everything came off your shoulders right there.
I said, you know what I said? I said, he is.
Good.
And then he put me down. And then after that, I changed. Dude, my mode changed.
Yeah.
I was calmer. I was more like...
relaxed.
Controlling. Yeah. Like, I was thinking clearly now. You know what I mean? Like I said, I still do it. I still change the Korah here and there, because... It's just it's a struggle.
Something you do.
I don't put it in people's faces. I don't do it as much anymore either. I still do, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, look, I told myself this, and I made a promise to God, especially, and to my mom. I said, look, you brought me back as your son, and I felt like God wanted me to be in the way how He created me.
Yeah.
As long as I'm here, I'm definitely gonna say I put 200% effort into being a man.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it goes through, I'm a man for the rest of my life. Hell yeah. Even now, I'm still working on my manhood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if for whatever the reason, it just doesn't happen, for whatever the reason may be.
Weren't you telling me earlier at Amazon, your strength is all gone? Weren't you telling me that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, have you ever thought about getting on, like, TRT for that, or no?
You mean HRT?
No, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So there's estrogen, which is for women, and testosterone for men. The thing with men and women is we have different biology. So men have both testosterone and estrogen.
Right.
Women have only estrogen.
Right.
So that's why men's moods kind of fluctuate every so often. You get like soft men, then you get really hard men that are just firm like rednecks. Their testosterone is significantly higher. So, like, when you said you were on hormones, your estrogen was higher than your testosterone. So
I got emotional at the ass.
Exactly, because your estrogen was higher.
Yeah.
Your testosterone was lower. So now it's probably like this, because you're off of everything. So it's kind of trying to balance everything out.
It is.
Yeah.
I can tell it has been for sure.
For sure.
My mindset, like, from just 2 years ago, hella changed.
So... I wonder if you can get on like certain things to get your strength back.
Honestly, I could, but I don't want to rely on that.
You could probably do like a cycle.
No, but see, like, remember how I told you that I've been working out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I do that. And it does help for sure, absolutely. I'm trying to make it a daily thing. Work out like an hour a day at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You don't have to do anything too hardcore, but at least you're
something
fit. I'm not even trying to be buff. Like, I'm just
I'm trying to take care of myself.
I'm just like enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's fine. But then the moment I got baptized, and I even told myself, you know what? I have questions for Jesus or for the Father above, and I have the Bible in front of me, and I had never read it. I was like, what the heck?
You're like, might as well read it.
So I'll read it. Yeah. And then any question that I had was in the book.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, I was just like, that book opened my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And then like just like you, when I got to Revelations and it was talking about certain things, I was like, wait a minute, that already happened.
You're like, that already happened.
Yeah,
You're like, this is wild.
Even besides anything that's scary, because God does talk about that he is to be feared.
For sure.
And that, absolutely, He's God, Mm-hmm. But the thing also is that other than fear, there's a lot of love in there.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely, it's probably like 10% fear, and then like the rest all love.
A little more.
Look, I haven't finished it all. You have though, so right. I'm roughly guessing right now.
No, but
I can tell you right away.
But at least you're aware of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good
There's
part.
There's definitely some love in there. It's like this is how the world was created, all that, the people, the names, and all that. It's great.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then, like, I'm just only on like a couple pages deep, so I can't even tell you the whole thing.
It's fascinating about what's so great about the Bible is that other than fear and love, it's just telling you how things were and how they came to be.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense, you know, like how the commandments came to be, how things were at the time, you know. Certain things that I didn't think were back then were actually there back then, you know. So, the Bible, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things.
I gotta finish reading it.
Yeah, I know.
When I get a chance. Yeah, after not sleeping until 4 in the afternoon.
Right. But my guy, the fact that you are reading it.
Yeah. It's good.
Props
for sure.
My guy.
It's funny though, because I was raised Christian.
Yeah.
But not heavily Christian. Like my uncle, he's a pastor. Like full on pastor. Goes to church almost every day because he works at a church. And then, of course, every Sunday, his whole family, every Sunday.
Oh, that's cool.
When I get married, probably he's going to be the person who, you know, I don't know the exact name, but the person who reads it, you know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, yeah. I was about to say
another name,
but,
but yeah, they kind of like officiate you, make it official pretty much, yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like sometimes they push it too much though, especially pastors.
There are, you know, that's the problem with Christianity sometimes is that
it's pushed so heavily.
They don't. It's not that it's pushed because at the end of the day, all Christians are trying to do is just save other people.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's never nothing wrong with that, but there is an approach to it.
For sure.
And that's where Christians end up clashing with each other because they're like, look, it has to be done this way, and then they're like, no, it has to be done this way. Yeah. And then people are like, no, it's the Bible says this. Well, it ain't working. So we gotta do it.
It ain't working.
Some people take it to an extreme. Some people,
definitely,
you know, are in your face. You know, and at the end of the day, it's all on you. You know,
it's all on the individual themselves. You know?
Yeah.
Like we discussed before, everyone has choices.
Yep.
So even if you choose not to choose the Lord and Savior, then that's your choice. If you go to Catholicism, like you did, or if you go to Buddhism, then or you're an atheist, then it's your choice. Even though you may not like your choice, but you chose it.
Right.
So someone may not like it for you, but it's your choice.
At the end of the day, everything's on you, you know? So that's why I tell people just make good choices. Yeah, hopefully you know what you're doing. You never know.
If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to learn.
Yeah, Eric, with that said, my guy, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have another podcast, man.
Yeah, we'll have another one.
This is awesome. For sure. Eric, with that said, though, my guy, thank you so much for coming over here, for doing this podcast. It was awesome talking to you, my guy, here. With that said, though, Verse, if you guys like what you saw, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification for more content. Before I end this video, Eric, is there anything you want to say, or?
Nope, that's it.
That's it?
Yep, that'll do.
Alright then, Eric. Well, thank you for coming, my guy. Shout out to you. And thank you, Verse, for watching. Please subscribe. I hope you guys understand why I haven't been doing much lately. I will be coming back. I am. I'm doing more podcasts, actually. I'm trying to get into it, and shorts.
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. And if it's dark, it's because it's almost 5.
Yes, it's almost 5 o'clock.
But with that said, though, Verse, again, thank you. Eric, appreciate it, man.
Yep, no problem.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep.